They're in the gate. And they're off. Very quick start for Dancing Forest as well as Glorious Life. They're joined by Miss Joe's Curlin on the outside. Then Afternoon Nap, who wasn't quick out of the gate but is now racing a joint fourth, heading past the 5/8 pole. Outside of them, who is Pavel, racing 3 deep, 2 clear of Desert Rocket, Inside Drive for Show, and Kanani Trails. It's Dancing Forest passing the half-mile pole, leading the way by a length and a half to Miss Joe's Curlin in second. Then it's Glorious Life hugging the rail in third, who is Pavel in fourth. Followed at the rail by Afternoon Nap and Desert Rocket losing ground 7 or 8 lengths off the speed. Passed at the rail by Kanani, and then a 3-wide Drive for Show is at the back of the field. A quarter of a mile to go. Dancing Forest just in front. Miss Joe's Curlin in second. Afternoon Nap swings into action on the outside as Glorious Life stays down at the rail. They're in the final furlong. Afternoon Nap and Kanani has surfaced late too. Past the 16th pole. Afternoon Nap is handwritten to the lead over Miss Joe's Curlin in the late stages and pulls away under Antonio Fresu. Afternoon Nap puts him to sleep. Photo for second between Glorious Life and Miss Joe's Curlin. Kanani finished with some interest in fourth. And they're off. Joint Venture flies out of the gate, opens up a length and a half on Donner Lake second. Dark Marcus came away in the top flight, and Keen to Go is hustled through down at the rail. Then John Dunbar toward the back of the field, and the early trailer is Dual Threat. Rounding the first turn, and it's Joint Venture uncontested on the front end. Leads it by a length to Donner Lake second. Then Dark Marcus 3 deep in third, followed by Keen to Go at the rail, 3.5 off the pace in fourth. 3 more back to John Dunbar, and Dual Threat has 7 lengths to make up, coming to the 5/8 pole, where it's Joint Venture and Donner Lake 1-2, with Dark Marcus not far behind on the outside of them. Another length back, Keen to Go drafting in fourth nicely, just 3 lengths off the lead. Another 4 back to John Dunbar, who's a length and a half in front of Dual Threat. They have less than a half mile to go, and Joint Venture has been the controlling speed. Donner Lake set down, trying to close the gap in second. At the rail, Keen to Go has horse. He moves up inside to take third from Dark Marcus. Another big gap to John Dunbar, and 2 more to Dual Threat. They're coming toward the quarter pole. Joint Venture and Donner Lake on even terms. 2 more to Keen to Go coming after the top pair third. Top of the stretch, Joint Venture digging in. Donner Lake, Keen to Go opts to go inside for the final 1/8 of a mile, trying to get to Joint Venture. Joint Venture digging in, has a 2-length lead. Keen to Go has had every chance, but Joint Venture keeps going under Ricky Gonzalez, and Joint Venture proves too strong. Wins it by 2.5 lengths. Keen to Go second best. Donner Lake a distant third in front of Dark Marcus. Instinct Doro to the outside. They're in the gate, and they're off. Clean start. Inch and Instinct Doro are the first 2 out of the gate. They're joined by Irish Corn and Cane Creek Road. Now here's Terry's Boy moving up to take third. At the back of the field, Mas Rapido, who's on the outside of Harry's on the fly. It's a duel between Irish Corn and Instinct Doro. Those 2 speed to the half-mile pole. 3 lengths back to Terry's Boy by himself in third. Another 2 back to Cane Creek Road, who's 4 lengths off the leaders. At the rail, Harry's on the fly. Inch in between rivals, and Mas Rapido outside of them just went by that pair. Onto the far turn, it's Irish Corn in front, a length and a half. Instinct Doro under pressure, not responding. Here's Terry's Boy, had a good trip. Angles off the rail, trying to pounce on Irish Corn. Irish Corn confronted by Terry's Boy at the 8th pole, and Cane Creek Road in the middle of the course, followed by Mas Rapido, who has surfaced late as Terry's Boy takes over, puts away Irish Corn, and Terry's Boy gives Antonio Fresu his second on the day. A convincing 3-length victory. Mas Rapido up for second in front of Irish Corn, and then came Cane Creek Road. Legal Fiction to the outside. They're in the gate. And they're off. A little bit bossy, thirsty in Vegas. Here's We the Free coming through along the inside, and We the Free takes over. Thirsty in Vegas on the outside. Big Tall Philly is matching strides in second. And then it's a little bit bossy now in third, followed by Legal Fiction fourth. And in between rivals, moving up to be a joint second. Princess Daddy and Thirsty Mama, no more than 4 lengths, covers the field. It's We the Free to the half-mile pole. Uncontested, a length and a half, a little bit bossy in second, followed by Legal Fiction third. Thirsty in Vegas is 4 wide in fourth, followed by Princess Daddy and Thirsty Mama. 3 furlongs remaining for We the Free. 3/4 of a length to Lil Bit Bossy, trying to close the gap in doing so. And here's Lil Bit Bossy with 1/4 of a mile to go, up to take the lead. We the Free will try to battle back, but is now a half length behind. 2 more to Princess Daddy, angling out for the final 1/8 of a mile. And then it's Thirsty Mama inside the 8th pole. Lil Bit Bossy just in front. We the Free trying hard along the inside, but now a length behind. And it's Lil Bit Bossy proving too good. Lil Bit Bossy wins by almost 2 lengths to Thirsty Mama. Photo for third, We the Free and Princess Daddy. Navarro, trained by Steve Miotti, ridden to victory by Armando Aguilar. Lil Bit Bossy was bred in California by Terry Lovinger, also the breeder and co. Whiskey, Gin, and Brandy. And they're off. Cullen J flies out of the gate very smartly, goes straight to the front. It's a cinch. Prince Dolce along the inside is racing a joint third as they link up with the main course. They are followed by 10 figures in between rivals. Whiskey, Gin, and Brandy is widest of all, followed by 4 Overloaded, and Dino Dave is at the back of the field. There's a battle on the front end. On the outside, it's a cinch and Cullen J duking it out. 2 lengths clear of Prince Dolce and the Red Silks at the rail. Whiskey, Gin, and Brandy with 10 figures between those two. 3 more lengths. Far Overloaded is next, just drifting out a touch, and Dino Dave next to him. They're coming to the quarter pole, and it's Cullen J in front, trying to fend off It's a Cinch. These two have been going at it throughout, with Prince Dolce and the Red Silks angling out for the final 1/8 of a mile, starting to gain some momentum too, leaving Whiskey, Gin, and Brandy behind, coming to the 16th pole. And here's Prince Dolce coming with a swift bit on the outside, goes right by the embattled leaders and will cruise to victory. Prince Dolce gallops. Cullen J. Then it was It's a Cinch, followed by a photo between Whiskey, Gin, and Brandy and Dino Dave. One back. They're in the gate. And they're off. Sunset Storm is ridden for speed. Candy's Wildcat alongside. Uplift in the center of the racetrack is up close. Supreme Coast, Navajo Warrior is only 3 lengths off the lead. And Bowtie Boys gets a nice spot now, a clear-cut third as they round the first turn. The two trailers, Aeromax and Classic Alfie at the back of the field, some 15 lengths off the pace being set by Sunset Storm, who's in front over Candy's Wildcat, a tracking second. 3 clear of Bowtie Boys, who's been guided off the rail in third. Then Navajo Warrior to his inside, 4 lengths off the lead. Uplift is next. Supreme Coast, a length and a half back to Aeromax. And now it's a distance to Classic Alfie. They have a half-mile left to go. And Sunset Storm leads 3/4 of a length. Candy's Wildcat and Navajo Warrior inching up on the rail, a closer third. Then comes Bowtie Boys, who's moving up on the outside, making his move now. He's third, but only a half length off as they're coming on both sides of Sunset Storm. Navajo Warrior goes on. Bowtie Boys, Sunset Storm has softened up third. 3 lengths back to Aeromax in the red colors, taking fourth. Then comes Uplift. Candy's Wildcat drops back, turning for home. And Navajo Warrior is the leader narrowly. Bowtie Boys on the outside. These two have it to themselves. Bowtie Boys or Navajo Warrior. Navajo Warrior clinging to a narrow lead. Bowtie Boys trying to get by. Set down for the final stages. Navajo Warrior, Bowtie Boys. Here's the line. It's too close to call. Way too close to call. Either Navajo Warrior or Bowtie Boys. Good luck splitting them. Aeromax and Sunset Storm were well behind third and fourth. Kitty Katana to the outside. In the Corona screen now. Goes in. They're in the gate, and they're off. Tom's Regret is very quick. Doris May is flashing sharp early speed. These two duel, and Doris May is a little bit quicker. Just nails down at the rail. Vitalera now moves up between rivals to take second. Kitty Katana is second to last. Speed Lane along the inside of Granny Budgie. 6 lengths covers the field down the hill. And it is Doris May, a clear-cut leader. Doris May has opened up 4 lengths on Vitalera's second. Just Nails along the inside is racing in third with a half-mile left to travel. And so it will be Doris May taking them down the hill, leading a length and a half. Just Nails comes off the fence to come after her in second. Vitalera is 3 deep. Tom's Regret in the thick of it, just 3 lengths off the pace. And advancing now as Just Nails takes the lead. Speed Lane is next. Granny Budgie in between horses and Kitty Katana at the back. Just Nails the one to catch as the field turns for home. Opens up 3 lengths on Tom's Regret, who moves into second. Kitty Katana rallying down the center of the course. A 16th to go, and Just Nails and Edwin Maldonado lights out. Much the best, cruising through the stretch, will report home 4.5 lengths in front. Tom's Regret in a photo with Granny Budgie, and then Speed Lane. Going in. And they're off. Jerry's Spirit is the quickest out of the gate, opens up a few lengths. Don't Hit Me Bash comes away a joint second. Coach Cronin, Rick's Red Storm is on the far outside, moving up to claim third as they move into the first turn. Down at the rail comes Navy Man in fifth, 5 lengths off the lead, with JB Strikes Back next, 3.5 clear of Saltwater Cowboy on the outside of Ratliff. The two trailers are Micheloff, and Demotivate is more than 10 lengths off the front runner, and that front runner is Jerry's Spirit. who takes them onto the backstretch. Don't hit me, Bash. Navy Man has room and goes up on the inside to be on even terms with Jerry Spirit, and in fact takes the lead. So it's Navy Man, the new leader, 5 furlongs out, with Jerry Spirit ahead back second. Don't hit me, Bash is racing in third. Then JB strikes back. Rick's Red Storm is just outside of him. Coach Cronin 7 lengths off the lead. Passed now by Saltwater Cowboy. Saltwater Cowboy starting to pick up some momentum. He'll have to go 4 wide around the far turn. Demotivate. Orange Sleeves is next. A 3 wide Micheloff is underway from the back with a dozen to make up, leaving Coach Cronin as the trailer, a quarter of a mile to go. Jerry Spirit pestered by Navy Man. These two arrive at the top of the stretch together, with Saltwater Cowboy angling to the center of the racetrack third. Then JB strikes back in fourth. Navy Man and Juan Hernandez on the inside of Jerry Spirit. It's Navy Man now opening up 2 past the 16th pole, and Navy Man certainly earned this victory. Navy Man pulls away in the final stages to score by 3. Demotivate with a sustained and solid bid for second. Then Jerry Spirit and JB strikes back. Goes in. And they're off. Sea Runner began very sweetly. Lee's Baby Girl is a little quicker and up to take the lead, with Mac and Cheese a close-up third, Resolve fourth in the early going. Alaramo tucked in on the fence. Giggle Giggle 3 deep, 3 clear of Isn't She Loverly? Then comes Wild Rover Lady second to last, and Lolo Le Plume at the back of the field. Lee's Baby Girl tries to sprint away at the 6 furlong pole, has suddenly put 5 lengths on heavily favored Sea Runner in second. Then comes Mac and Cheese third, followed by Alaramo inside Resolve, 7 lengths off the lead, 2 clear of Giggle Giggle, who inches up 3 wide, a big gap to the rest. Wild Rover Lady, Isn't She Loverly, and Lolo Le Plume. Half mile to run, leaves Baby Girl to catch, has a 3-length lead. Sea Runner is in second, Mac and Cheese still third. Alaramo on the rail, 4 off the pace in fourth. Resolve is next, racing 2 clear of Giggle Giggle. Wild Rover Lady inside Isn't She Loverly, who's 3 wide in the green, 3 in front of Lolo Le Plume. Lee's Baby Girl, Sea Runner called on now, trying to close the gap in second. They turn for home. Lee's Baby Girl. Here's Sea Runner closing resolutely alongside. Confidently handled too. And up to take the lead from Lee's Baby Girl, who won't go away without a fight. Sea Runner, Lee's Baby Girl come for the wire together. And Sea Runner, bred to be any type, takes care of business over Lee's Baby Girl. In behind them was Resolve in third and Giggle Giggle a distant fourth.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to an excellent 10-race card here at the Great Race Place. My name's Tom Quigley, VIP player concierge, and also your seminar host for the next 35 minutes. Delighted that you decided to join us. Of those 10 races today, 5 are stakes races. 3 of them are Breeders' Cup winning urine races. Hard to believe the Breeders' Cup day number 2 on Saturday, November 3rd is just 4 weeks away from today down at the Delmar Thoroughbred Club. But our seminar guest today, I like to think that most of our seminar guests are pretty smart, but there's 2 different types of smarts. There's smart, and then there's Dr. Smart. And our seminar guest today not only is a horse player, but he's also a doctor as well. His name, Dr. Ronald Tang. Doc, welcome to the seminar. Happy Saturday.
Thanks for the invite, Quigley. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
It's long overdue, that's for sure. I wanted to have you on because, like I said, not only are you an avid horse player, but you also are a doctor. You're actually an oncologist, which means you deal with cancer patients.
Yes, I do.
How do you deal with that on a day in and day out basis? Because there's a lot of success stories and then a lot of course, sad stories as well.
Yes, absolutely. It is kind of a stressful job, but I've been doing it for about 9 years. So it's kind of a work-life balance. And how it is, horse racing actually balances it a little bit, from that standpoint. It takes my mind away from the daily stresses. Of course, we have our successes where we have curable patients, and I'm happy to see my patients 5, 10, even 15 years out cancer-free. But obviously, as we know, cancer is not a disease of the past yet. And unfortunately, there are patients that unfortunately don't do well, pass away, and I have to have those serious conversations with the family. But I try to, once I get home, I try to leave that all at work.
Sure.
So,
is cancer hereditary?
There are some cancers that are hereditary, only about 5%. And it's usually, you would see that in your family history. If your mother, father, cousins, uncles, and aunts get cancer at a younger age, then I would be concerned for hereditary, and I would recommend early screening. But otherwise, usually it's not. It seems like it's a little bit more environmental and how you're, exercise. There's a lot of things in terms of obesity, things that we do to ourselves, unfortunately, bad habits per se, that can cause that. But the key thing is early detection. So everybody get your screening, colonoscopies, mammograms, and things from that standpoint to detect it early so that we can catch it early and take care of it early.
Now, you've been on ABC World News Tonight, Good Day LA, a bunch of news outlets, both locally here in Los Angeles, as well as around the country. What other pieces of advice would you give to people to try and, maybe change their lifestyles to not become a cancer patient? We have to live our lives, right?
Of course.
And part of living life is enjoying life.
Yes.
And part of enjoying life is, delving into sinister activity.
Exactly.
Whether it's drinking or eating bad food or whatever it might be. So what can we do to kind of, lessen the risk?
It's all about moderation. That's what I say. It's not like you have to cut out all the sugar in your diet, no donuts for 10 years or anything, cut out all the bacon, because that never works, in lifestyle. Once you do something extreme, you can only do it for a short period of time. So little by little, moderation, daily walking, 30 minutes of heavy daily activity, low fat, low sugar diet, but you can cheat on some days, that I cheat on some days. I take the occasional donut, so I have a sweet tooth, unfortunately, so I do cheat. So I tell
not as much as I do, based upon your stature.
But early detection is the key. Listen to your body. Your body will tell you something's not right, and if something's not right, trust your gut. Go see your physician, get things done early. And if we do detect something early, we can take care of it early and cure you.
Now, speaking of diseases, it's interesting. You actually became a horse player during COVID.
Yes, I did.
You like to bet and play on the sporting events around the country. But then, of course, our society shut down.
Right.
And you needed some, some things to take away from your stressful life. So you discovered horse racing.
Yeah.
How did that kind of all come about?
Yeah, I actually first indulged in horse racing right after college. I came here the first time at Santa Anita when I was 18, even though I live only about 15 minutes away. Then I would just kind of be a fair weather fan. I would, watch the Derby, the big races, Breeders' Cup. But then when COVID hit, obviously all the sports things, cut down. And I said, I need something to keep my mind off of this, dreary, pandemic. I was still working 7 days out of the week, obviously. So I was like, oh, horse racing is on. Let's get back to it. And I was like, let me delve into it more. Let me look into it more. And at that point, then things started blossoming in a sense that it was my, I would say, free time away from the stressful pandemic at that time. And now, out of the pandemic, I've done okay,
I'd say
and it's
better than
enjoyable.
okay. Dr. Ronald Tang, it's our pleasure to have him as our guest today. He's done more than okay. You'll find out exactly how he handicaps and some of his past successes, and he's going to tell us who he likes on today's 10-race card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here at Santa Anita.
Good afternoon and happy Oak Tree Day at Santa Anita Park. Welcome. Track is fast, the turf is firm. Here are the early changes on today's card. There are no changes in the first, which starts the early pick 5. Race 2, scratch 6, Frost Alert. Second race is the beginning of the early pick 4. Couple of blinker notes in there too. The third is the Oak Leaf presented by Oak Tree. It's a grade 2 event and a win and you're in for the Juvenile Fillies division. Scratch 1, Rio del Sol. Scratch 2, Jack's Magic Girl. The fourth is the Speakeasy, no show wagering, with the scratches of 1, Snowdonia, 2, Kale's Angel, and 4, I'm a Bad Boy. Also, the program scratch of number 7, Tim Ty. So 1, 2, 4, and 7 are out. Jeff Siegel has issued a revised morning line for race 4, the Speakeasy. The fifth race starts the $2 pick 6, scratch 5, Tarantino. Race 5, take out the 5. In race 6, started the 1, it's the 50-cent late pick 5 and leg 1 of the all-turf pick 3. All-turf pick 3 today. Races 6, 8, and 10, no changes in the 6th. The 7th is the Chillingworth Stakes, Oak Tree Legend. Scratch 2, Hope Road. Scratch 4, Anywho. Scratch 7, Chismosa. 2, 4, and 7 are out. No show wagering in the Chillingworth. 8th race, grade 2, the Rodeo Drive. Win and you're in for the Filly and Mare Turf Division. It's the $3 late pick 3. That's a new wager. Last 3 races, $3 late pick 3. Just that blinker note for the 3. The 9th, the American Pharaoh, which is presented by our friends at DK Horse, grade 1 event. Blinker note only. Breeders' Cup win and you're in for the Juvenile Division. And in the 10th, take out the 8, Tariff. Super High 5 offered only on the last race. We should have huge pools throughout the meet in the Super High 5. Those are the changes on a great day of racing here at Santa Anita Park. We have a Future Stars pick 5 that's going to be starting in about 14 minutes with the 7th at Belmont at Aqueduct. So we have the 7th and 8th from Belmont, the 3rd from Santa Anita Park. We go to Keeneland for race 9, and then back here to close it out with our 9th race, the Future Stars pick 5, the Frizette Champagne Breeders Futurity, American Pharaoh, and Oak Leaf, with a player-friendly 15% takeout, $1 minimum wager. And look at that list of tremendous races coast to coast for the Future Stars pick 5. It's time for the openers in 56 minutes at 1 p.m. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. His special guest today, oncologist and horse player. We're pleased to welcome Dr. Ronald Tang to Quigley's Corner.
Busy day here at Santa Anita, as Frank just described, a lot of wagering action, but there's also a tournament you can play right here at Santa Anita or online anywhere in the country at expressbet.com. It's a BCBC super low ratio qualifier. You put up $1,000, 500 is live bankroll. Whatever you turn that money into is yours to keep. And if you're one of the top, for every 20 players that play, one $10,000 Breeders' Cup betting challenge seat is awarded. It's an excellent way to formulate your opinion and make it productive, because if you're right, you might actually win a $10,000 Breeders' Cup betting challenge seat if you play either here on track at Santa Anita or online at expressbet.com. Dr. Ronald Tang, you've qualified 3 times already for the BCBC. Unfortunately, you're only allowed 2 seats, but you've already had a very, very successful year from a tournament standpoint.
Yes, absolutely. This year has been more successful in live money, and usually I'm the $2 win place, mythical. But this year has been really successful in the live money, and most recently, the King of the Turf tournament at Kentucky Downs.
You put up $1,500 and you wound up winning the tournament. At one point, you were down to $540, but yet you wound up with a final bankroll of $18,252. That was yours to keep. You also won $33,450 in prize money, plus one of those coveted Breeders' Cup betting challenge seats. You're a professional doctor. You make a lot of money. Is this extra money for your 2 kids' college tuition?
Absolutely. It's very expensive nowadays to raise 2 kids, especially in LA, high standard of living. So even as an oncologist, extra income is very appreciated.
And you're currently 6th on the NHC Tour as well. So like you said, you've had an excellent season playing in tournaments. But I wanted to talk to you before we get your selections on today's card, Doc, about your style of handicapping, because it's very unique, but yet it's very productive. All of us, as you can see, particularly me, with a whole ream of paper in front of me, spend countless hours trying to handicap and decipher the puzzle. You take a completely opposite approach. You rely on equine edge, and generally speaking, whatever the computer tells you to play is what you play. You're very computer reliant in terms of who you play.
Yes. So I've learned that because of the busy lifestyle, I used to do the pen and paper form and everything, and I still do that a little bit. But nowadays, I feel like, I know sometimes I'm not usually the smartest person in the room.
I would beg to differ, but you're at least the smartest person in this room, that's for sure.
So I rely on other tools to help me get to where I'm at, and that's even throughout medical school. There were many people smarter than me, but I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not good at. So time is precious from my standpoint. So I was doing the pen and paper, but then I was like, hey, let's take a look at this AI stuff. AI is coming into play, and let's see what to do. And so I was looking at a whole bunch of computer programs, and Equine Edge is a very clean program. It kind of gives me kind of a baseline of where to go in the race. Then I'll look at the form and kind of put those things together and kind of formulate a pick or two from there.
And you will deviate occasionally, but generally speaking, you just basically stick with whatever the computer says. And it gives, I'm not familiar with the computer program, but I assume it gives you a range of contenders or a list of contenders. And then if the top choice might be too short of a price for you, might go down to option 2 or 3.
Yeah, absolutely. There's also some pace projections, but I also use my own pace projections off the form, and I try to compare those as well. I mean, there's other intangibles, obviously, that's not given in the program. If you're familiar with a certain jockey colony and trainer colony, that gives you an extra edge. The computer may or may not take that into play. So there's a lot of different ways to solve a puzzle, as we say.
Well, let's see what both you and the computer think on today's 10-race card, kicking things off in race number 1, which of course starts the popular 50-cent early pick 5. We kick things off going 1 mile on the turf course. The rails today are at 0 feet. It's an allowance optional claiming race. Non-winners of 1 other than. We've got a field of 8. The morning line favorite on the bottom was number 8, Zio Joe, who's 5-2, according to Jeff Siegel. But the current betting choice at 5-2 is number 2, King Apollo from the George Papadroma barn. Talk to us about race 1, Doc.
Yeah, this race, from my perspective, I looked at it from a pace perspective. Obviously, I like turf racing. So looking at this, I think it's going to be there's a couple of speed horses that might go after each other. So I'm looking at a horse that's sitting off the pace or a closer. So my first pick is Jeweled Shillelagh, trained by Mike McCarthy with Rispoli riding. It's at 5-1. I'm hoping to get more odds on it. I see that right now it's at 7-1. But I'm thinking that the 6 Coduello and the 4 Talk Less Work More will be speed dueling each other. And hopefully the 7 sits right off and right at the top of the stretch can blow on on by. So that's my first pick, and I love Rispoli on a turf horse.
And you also give a little love to number 1, Michi's Express, who we haven't seen since January of last year. First time Lasix Calbred, actually won the Cal Cup Derby last time out. Rispoli elects to ride your top choice. What is it about Michi's Express you like?
Yeah, this is kind of a little sneaky pick. It's one of my long shot picks. Yes, it's off a long layoff. But if this is how the race, I think, develops, I think these speed horses may go at it, and Michi's Express may be the deep closer. Knapp comes in off a long layoff. The only time that this horse has raced was October 8th, 2023. Had some nice turfy action. The rest has been dirt, so I think it can translate. Let's see how that goes at 12 to 1.
Let's turn the page, Doc. Take a look at race number 2. Begins the 50-cent middle, pick 4. This time we're on the main track, 1 mile of the distance. $16,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. Scratch the 6. Frost Alert leaves us with a field of 6. The morning line favorite number 2, Big Drinker from the Peter Miller barn, 5 to 2 on the morning line. First time in the Peter Miller barn. Give us your thoughts on race 2.
Great. Yeah, it's a short race. After the scratch, I actually like the 6, but now looking at the selections, I like the 1. Picking it up, Papa Padromo has been hot at Santa Anita. I think on the dirt racing, it's been a little bit more speed favoring, so I think the 1 can sit off the pace with the 4 and 7 and kind of blow on by. I also like that couple of races. It's finally got some experience on the 8 furlongs. Tailed off at the end, but I think more experience will help from that standpoint.
Fair enough. You also like number 5, who is Spiritist,
yes,
going from a sprint to a route. Has routed before down at Del Mar. What do you like about Spiritist?
Exactly. I like that sprint to route angle there. I think from how it's been racing, I think if there's a speed duel and this race falls apart, Spiritist will be the closer that will mow him down at the end.
Let's take a look at race number 3, the first of our 5 stakes races on today's card. It's also a win and you're in for the Juvenile Fillies division. It's the Grade 2 Oak Leaf presented by Oak Tree. Mile and a 16th on the main track for 2-year-old fillies. 2 scratches. Scratch the 1 and the 2 leaves us with a field of 6. 4 of them trained by Bob Baffert. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Doc, I want to show a workout between 2 of the Baffert runners. This would be a workout with Tenma as well as non-compliant. This workout was back on September 22nd, and Tenma is going to be on the outside in the yellow cap that the exercise rider is wearing. And as they continue in this workout, you'll see that Tenma kind of struggles to keep up with non-compliant. They basically finished close together at the wire, but in my opinion, non-compliant was certainly going easier than Tenma. I think Tenma is going to take some action off of that impressive performance, winning the Del Mar Debutante closing weekend down at Del Mar. But 2 very talented runners here, trained by Bob Baffert. Tenma on the outside with the yellow cap, as I mentioned, is sired by Nyquist. Non-compliant down on the inside, sired by Tiz the Law. But you can see, again, what I like to watch in these in these workout videos, courtesy of our friends at xbtv.com, is the action of the exercise rider's arms. And you can see the exercise rider aboard the inside horse, non-compliant, really not asking his filly for much. Meanwhile, the exercise rider on Tenma trying to get online or at least even with non-compliant, and really is never able to do so, including here on the gallop out. So certainly 2 very talented fillies. I would give the edge of that workout to non-compliant. Now, having said that, Doc, as we watch the end of that workout, non-compliant and Tenma are both trying to do something for the first time, yes, which is go 2 turns. So what do you and the computer say in terms of who might be the eventual winner of the Oak Leaf Stakes?
Yeah, exactly. I think this is obviously Bob Baffert's race to lose. He's got 4 of them.
He's got them surrounded, to say the least.
So, it's hard to say what the plan would be, but I think, from what I see, I think the 4 Nooney's going to go and try to run them off their feet. But I think Tenma non-compliant, as that work showed, is good. But I kind of like Tenma a little bit more than non-compliant. I liked his race at the Del Mar Debutante. I think, although the work didn't show as much, I think he's got some stuff left in the tank to blow on by. And then my second pick, as I've learned from before, take the longest Baffert pick and maybe you'll hit some gold. 12 to 1, showers. So hopefully we'll be showering down with some money down there if you take this one. 12 to 1. I think it's going to be bet up because the other 3 Bafferts are going to take money. So that's my long shot play in this race.
And it's good to see the return of the naming of the Oakleaf Stakes. The first 42 runnings were called the Oakleaf Stakes, and now since 2011 it was referred to as the Chandelier Stakes. Now today we return it to its proper name as the Oakleaf Stakes. 14 fillies have won the Oakleaf and an Eclipse Award as well, including runners like Chaluki, Half Bridled, and Songbird. Certainly the first of many prestigious races on today's card here at Santa Anita. Race number 4 is another stakes race. It's the Speakeasy Stakes. It's $100,000 guaranteed for 2-year-olds sprinting 5 furlongs in the turf course. It also begins the 50-cent middle pick 4. There are 3 scratches here. 1, 2, and 4 will all not compete. Number 5, Dream Away, is a filly running against the boys, and now she's 3-5 on the morning line. Looks like she's got to beat Smash It from the Todd Fincher barn, who's going first time turf. Talk to us about race 4, Doc.
Yeah, obviously I think Dream Away is probably the likely winner, but I don't know. I can't give out a 6-5 with my first time on here, so I'm going to go with the long shots. Tis Happy, out of the Doug O'Neill. I'm taking both Doug O'Neills. He must know something. So let's see how it goes. So Tis Happy, I like Tis Happy a little bit more than the second one, Pally Kitten. I think if this race does fall apart, Tis Happy has a chance to close on by. I liked his last race. I liked his race actually at San Anita, where he broke his maiden. Didn't do too well in the Del Mar Juvenile Turf, but I think he's maybe back with some horses that he can compete against. But I completely agree. I think Dream Away could have a chance to go wire to wire here, but I just can't take the 6-5. It'd probably be 1-9 before when the race goes off.
Beat the chalk in race number 4. So says our seminar guest today, Dr. Ronald Tang. Race number 5 begins the $2 pick 6. The traditional $2 pick 6 is back in play here at Santa Anita, and we kick off the pick 6 in race 5, sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. Allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than 1 scratch. The 5, Tarantino, still leaves us with a good field of 8. The morning line favorite from the aforementioned Bob Baffert barn, number 8, Pilot Commander, who's 7-5 on the morning line. Beat the chalk here, Doc?
Yes, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for the 4, All That Glory, trained by Tim Yakteen, ridden by Frezu. On the program, there's what I call a morning line discrepancy. So it looks like it's 15-1, but the discrepancy says it'll be going to be bet down to 7-1. I like that discrepancy when I'm looking at these programs. That kind of gives me a hint of if I'm getting value or not. So All That Glory would be my first pick, and then my second pick, I think Pilot Commander will be hard to beat here with the Red Pill and Vlalos going off of the speed. I think Pilot Commander will run into the pace and could blow on by, but I like All That Glory with that price.
Sounds like one of the key components of your handicapping, Doc, is just trying to imagine what the pace scenario is going to be like. Pace makes the race is the old axiom that a lot of old-time horse players use. Is that probably the most fundamental aspect of your handicapping approach?
Yeah, I think that's the number one key building block, to see where the pace is at, because once you figure that out, then it's elimination handicapping, where if you think it's speed favoring, there's 4 or 5 horses that are going to go for the lead, then you're going to look at closers. If there's only one horse that thinks is going to go to lead, that could be your wire-to-wire horse. So it kind of eliminates and kind of narrows down your preferences in the race.
Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. It also begins the $3 all turf pick 3. And we kick things off in race 6 for both of those wagers, going 1 mile on the turf course for maiden special weight fillies and mares. We've got a good field of 11 here. Number 10, Mizzy Ann from the Michael McCarthy barn is 5-2 on the morning line. Has some ability, but drew outside in today's race. What say you about race 6, Doc?
Well, I'm going outside of him. Number 11, Sophisticate. So hopefully it's a sophisticated pick for me. We'll see. But I like John Sheriff's third off the layoff with Barrios. I think he's a very underrated rider still, but he's proved himself here at Santa Anita to be very successful. I like the last race, 8.5. Now he's cutting back to 8. He was pretty, he closed on the August 2nd race at Del Mar. He came in at 3rd. So I think this kind of also sets up. I think the one She's the Law is going to go, and we'll see if She's the Law can make 8 furlongs. If not, I think Sophisticated can run him on by at the end.
I like to categorize you, Doc, as a non-traditional handicapper. And the reason why I'm making that point is because in a lightly raced field like we have in race 6, do you spend any time, if at all, looking at pedigree?
I do sometimes, but obviously I'm not the expert at pedigree. I wouldn't. I do look. I kind of know some of my turf horses. Like I know Liam's Map, Kitten Right, English Channel. I know those ones that probably everybody else knows, but I don't really deep dive into the pedigree. I think the AI program does that just fine. And there's other things. There's other programs and things that'll do that for you automatically.
Will AI make doctors extinct?
Good question. Hopefully not for me.
And for me.
But it's coming. It's coming. Unfortunately, I would say the two fields that are probably going to be affected most are radiology and the pathologists, because unfortunately with AI, it's all about pattern recognition and teaching a robot to recognize images. So what's radiology? Recognizing images. They're doing that in China already. They have robots, and it's proven in a study where these robots are working 24 hours and their accuracy is about 96%. Human accuracy was only 93. So it beat humans there. So that's probably going to be the first forefront of AI. But I'm crossing my fingers that when we're talking about cancer, you need a human touch and not a robot to tell you what's going on with your cancer, hopefully.
And the lawyers in the crowd watching agree with you as well. They hope that AI doesn't extinguish their profession as well. Race number 7 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. It's a grade 3 Chillingworth Stakes for fillies and mares, sprinting 6.5 furlongs in the main track, $100,000 guaranteed purse. Scratch the 2 and the 4 and the 7, leaves us with just a field of 4. Sweet Azteca, the very talented filly from the Michael McCarthy barn, is now 1-5 on the morning line. You haven't picked one favorite yet. Are you going to do it here?
Yeah, I'm going to have to do this here with all the scratches. I can't even get over this. This Sweet Azteca, I think is going to go wire to wire, just blow this field away. I picked Kirsten Bosch, number 2, as my 6 horse as my second pick. I think if it has a shot, if Sweet Azteca blows on by, 6 can maybe pick up the spoils for second place. But I think Sweet Azteca is a very special horse.
Let me have you dig deeper into your program for a minute and kind of make a case for number 5, One Magic Filly.
Yes.
She's a lightly raced 3-year-old filly who is improving by leaps and bounds. The one thing that kind of caught my eye is Sweet Azteca has to give her 8 pounds. One Magic Filly carries 118, Sweet Azteca 126. Could that maybe be the difference in terms of a rapidly improving 3-year-old filly, or according to your program, does Sweet Azteca just tower over the field?
Well, it does tower over the field, but I think One Magic Filly has a shot. I wouldn't. If One Magic Filly won, it wouldn't be surprising. But I think if Sweet Azteca even runs his B+ race, her B+ race, she'll be the winner here.
Race number 8 begins one of the new and popular wagers here at St. Anita. It's a $3 late pick 3. It's a $3 wager on the last 3 races at St. Anita. One of the reasons why it's popular, it's got a 15% takeout, and the pools have been great, and the payouts have been great as well. And we kick off the $3 late pick 3 in race with the Rodeo Drive Stakes. It's a grade 2 event for fillies and mares. It's also a Breeders' Cup winning your in race for the filly and mare turf division. These fillies and mares are traveling 1.25 miles on the turf course. We've got a field of 7. The only 3-year-old in the field, number 4, Ice Cream You Scream, is the 8-5 morning line favorite. Never ran against Ola, never ran this far. Give us your thoughts on race 8, Doc.
Yes, so Phil D'Amato is the king of the Santa Anita turf here. So speaking from a king as myself, I would say...
You have the belt to prove it.
Yeah, that'll be coming hopefully soon. I think Ice Cream You Scream is a I think I want to beat that. Is that I don't think it can get the 10 for long. So I think it sets up for his other horse, Hang the Moon, to close on by. So I like Hang the Moon at 6-1. There's a slight morning line discrepancy there, but I like those odds. So I'm hoping that the 6 rides on by and that we can beat the morning line favorite here. My second horse is Aspen Grove. I really like Sisterson when he ships in. I played Sisterson a lot at Gulfstream and other tracks, and here on the cut back from 11 down to 10, and he gets Juan Hernandez on board. So I think that's a good second pick for me.
As you mentioned, Doc, Aspen Grove, trained by Jack Sisterton and owned by Glen Hill Farm. Good to see the Glen Hill Farm silks running here at Santa Anita in Arcadia, California. Jack Sisterton, for those of you who might not know, an assistant for Doug O'Neill for many years here in Southern California. So welcome back to Southern California, Jack, at least for today. Race number 9 offers $5 late daily double wagering. Similar concept, higher minimum, lower takeout, 15%, better payouts. And we kick it off in the American Pharoah Stakes presented by DK Horse. It's a grade 1 event, $300,000 guaranteed for 2-year-olds traveling 1 mile and a 16th on the main track. Another win in your in race for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Division. We've got a field of 7, 3 of them trained by Bob Baffert, not including the morning line favorite, who's down on the rail, number 1, McKinsey Street. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Doc, I want to watch another workout. This workout would be a team drill for both number 5, Emerald Bay, and number 7, Getaway Car. Emerald Bay is on the outside here. It's in the dark, or certainly as the sun is starting to rise, which is why the exercise riders are wearing the lighted helmets. But when they turn for home, you'll be able to get a better idea of who's doing what. But you can already see, just based upon the speed of the camera following them, that they're moving right along. And you can see the final workout times in the bottom right-hand corner. 59 and change for Getaway Car, who's down on the inside. Emerald Bay actually has 2-turn experience, but in terms of this sprint drill right here over the main track at Santa Anita, back on September 28th. Getaway Car certainly gets the better of Emerald Bay this particular morning. Getaway Car also going to be ridden by Juan Hernandez, who rode both horses last time out. Juan elects to ride back Getaway Car, and you can see her doing it somewhat effortlessly, drawing away from Emerald Bay. So certainly Getaway Car shorter odds in the morning line, and also once they break from the gate, I'm sure. But Getaway Car could not be more impressive here, 59-1. Now, that's the good news. The bad news, this is a two-turn race going a mile and a 16th. Mr. Baffert has won 5 of the last 6 American Pharaohs. Do you expect him to be 6 out of 7 after this afternoon, Doc?
Yeah, I can't go against Bob here, unfortunately. I think he's got this race won with his 3 horses. Getaway Car, impressive work there, but again, I'm still questionable if he can get this distance. So I went with the other horse in the workout, Emerald Bay, at 6-1. Again,
just like Showers.
Yes, take the higher Baffert horse, cross your fingers, and collect the money at the finish line.
Fair enough. And good to see Martin Garcia back in Southern California. He does ride one of the Baffert runners in race number 9, number 3, Citizen Bull. We close out an outstanding day of racing in race number 10, which offers $1 super high five wagering. And we close things out for 2-year-olds going 1 mile on the turf course. They're all maiden special weights. 1 program scratch. Scratch the 8 Tariff. Take note, number 5, Farley Hall is a first-time gelding. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Doc, a quick look at a replay, because 5 of these 10 runners exit the same race. It's the race back on September 7th, and the morning line favorite, we'll see, Kings Road, does run in this replay we're about to watch. The runner I do want you to pay attention to is number 3, Video Review. He's going to break from post position number 2 in this replay, and you're going to see he's going to be very rank and keyed up going into the clubhouse turn. Basically lost all of his energy. Now I think today in start number 2, he'll be more relaxed. He's 20-1 on the morning line. So let's listen to Trevor Denman describe the action back on September 7th and watch the runner in the Redham Racing Silks break from post position number 2.
And away they go. Zabo from the inside gate has ridden for the early lead in the center, Kings Road. Now here comes Johnson's Magic on the grandstand side to join them. Just in behind them is Iron Man, Cal, Video Review down at the rail. Curvino in the orange, 6 off them. They go a fast pace early on. Then comes Stingray Shuffle in the blue colors. Alongside of that is Unrivaled Hero, a little wide and 8 lengths off the leaders. In a bit tight here is Video Review. Looks like the saddle has slipped on Video Review, up in the 3rd spot, dropping back now. At the back of the pack is Zabo and Freedom of Speech. They move down the backstretch, and Kings Road in front by half a length. Johnson's Magic right there in the 2nd spot. Then comes Iron Man Cal, Video Review, 4 lengths off the leaders. Behind that comes Curvino in the orange. Then Stingray Shuffle, Unrivaled Hero, White Cap, 9 off the leader. Behind that, Freedom of Speech, and Zabo is last. Strung out, they go into the far turn, and Kings Road still a leader by a half. In the 2nd spot is Johnson's Magic, turning the pressure on. Iron Man Cal is in with a good shot. Iron Man Cal starts to close on 3 wide. In behind that comes Video Review. Curvino is in the orange, and then Stingray Shuffle. At the top of the lane, Iron Man Cal coming with a big run. Iron Man Cal down the center gets the lead. Kings Road battles on gamely, but he's really no match here for Iron Man Cal. Sticks his neck out and goes willingly for the wire. Iron Man Cal wins well. Kings Road was in.
Doc, Kings Road finished 2nd, but didn't change leads. Now 4-5 on the program. Seems like a short price. I'm trying to beat him with Video Review. You're trying to beat him with the first-time gelding, number 5, Farley Hall. 30-1 on the morning line. Tell us why.
Actually, I'm doing the 11, Uncle Dude, instead of Farley Hall. Sorry about that.
6-1.
Yeah, 6-1. Phil D'Amato, and Phil D'Amato I trust on turf here. I think his last race, 8 furlongs, prepped him up for this race. I think he's going to run well here. And I think, Kings Road may go to the lead, but I think Uncle Dude's going to close on by. My second pick is Legitimate with Mike McCarthy. Berta Rispoli rides wonderfully in the program, says it's going to do quite well here. So let's bring it on home at the end.
Doc, at the racetrack, you never know who you're going to bump into, and certainly bumping into you has changed my life, that's for sure, because you're certainly a credit not only to the horse racing community, but also to the medical community as well. So keep up the great work that you do both on and off the track, and keep picking winners, and I'll certainly see, if not at the NAC, at the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, TK. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much again.
Pleasure's been all mine. Hope the pleasure has been yours as well. One more wager to remind you about the $1 Coast to Coast Pick 5, low 15% takeout, dollar minimum. We kick things off with the Oakley Stakes, race number 3 here at Sandy today, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Make sure you get involved. Next voice you hear, track announcer Frank Miramati updating us when they like changes. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good time, good luck, and have a great afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Happy Oak Tree Day at Santa Anita Park. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the changes. Track conditions brought to you by John Deere. In the first, Santa Anita Park welcomes DK Horse. There are no changes. 50 cent early pick 5 starts with the opener. Race 2, scratch number 6, Frost Alert. The third is the Oak Leaf, presented by Oak Tree. It's a Breeders' Cup win, and you're in for the Juvenile Fillies division. Scratch 1, Rio del Sol. Scratch 2, Jack's Magic Girl. The fourth, the Speakeasy, starts a middle pick 4. No show wagering. Scratch 1, Snowdonia. Scratch 2, Kale's Angel. Scratch 4, I'm a Bad Boy. Scratch 7, Tim Tie. Jeff Siegel has put in a revised morning line. No show wagering. $1 pick 6 starts with race 5. Scratch 5, Tarantino. The sixth, No program changes. The all-turf pick 3 and late pick 5 start with the 6th. The 7th, no show wagering. Scratch 2 Hope Road. Scratch 4 Anywho. Scratch 7 Chismosa. No show wagering. Revised morning line is up. The 7th is the Chillingworth. 8th race, grade 2, Rodeo Drive. $3 late pick 3 starts. The 9th, the American Pharaoh, presented by DK Horse. It's a Breeders' Cup win and you're in for the juvenile division. And race 9 also starts the $5 late daily double. And in the 10th, super high 5 wagering is offered only on the last race each day. Program scratch of number 8, Tariff, out of race number 10. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. They'll be at the gate for the first in 25 minutes at 1 p.m.